So today on Pat's car driveway, we have a quick little video on how to access the hidden menus on the climate control. So the first hidden menu is the sensor readout menu, and for that you need to have the car on, well, the engine on and running. So what you do is you press and hold rest for a few seconds. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And now you see the display here flashes between a number and then the sensor value. The number is what sensor is actually being read right now. And then, well, you know, the value is the value. So I think 01 is current interior temperature. To scroll between the sensors, what you do is you click on the fan plus and minus buttons. So I'll go plus. So I see it goes 02 and it says 08. So 08 is the current outside temperature. So you see here 80, sorry, not 08, 80 Celsius. So we have the same display here under 02, 8 Celsius. So there's a bunch of these and you scroll through them with the plus and minus fan buttons. I'm gonna post all this, what the sensors correspond to. They're all gonna be in the description of the video. So this is the first of 3 hidden menus on this car, well, on this climate control unit. So now what we're going to do is we're going to access the diagnostic menu. If you want to exit this menu can always access, like even if the car is just on or actually running, you can always access this menu. So to get out of it, just click on rest again, and now you're back in the normal operation of the climate control unit. So for the diagnostic menu, what you got to do is first we'll shut the engine off. So we're going to go ahead and turn that off. Now we're going to turn the key to the on position, but we're not going to turn the engine on. So okay, now we're on. This here turns on. We're going to lower this to low. And now we're going to cycle the key again. So we're going to turn the car back off. And we're going to turn it back on. So that's still at low. Now you're going to click on rest and the windshield demist at the same time. We'll actually press rest first. So we're going to go ahead like that. Press and hold. So now we're in the diagnostics menu of the climate control unit. You'll see it'll say DIA, meaning diagnostics, and you see this little red LED here flashing. So to cycle through all the codes, you just click on this. The first set of codes you'll see appear or not see are the permanent codes. So we're going to go ahead, click on that. Again. Maybe you got to click on... Oh, sorry. You got to click on auto to cycle through the codes. So you see no codes showed up, and now it says end. That means we hit the end of the permanent codes. Now we're going to enter the intermittent codes. So you see now we have DI, the little degree sign here, and A. This means we're in the intermittent codes. So now I've got a few intermittent codes stored, each of which I want to tackle eventually. And obviously I'll make videos about what, how to fix those in particular. But again, I'll put all the codes in the description of the video so that you can reference them. So now, see, now we cycled back to the beginning. So once again, we've got end, and now we're under the intermittents, and there's a few codes that are stored. I'll make a quick note about 419. 419 is the compressor electromagnetic clutch. This code obviously turns on if there's a problem with the compressor's clutch, but it will also show up if, for any reason, the climate control unit shuts off the compressor because of abnormal sensor values. So for example, if your evaporator temperature sensor reads less than 2 degrees, it's gonna shut the compressor off because obviously it doesn't want the evaporator to freeze over. If all your sensors are working, it's not going to put the 419 code, but if one of your sensors is bad, for example me, I've got the 233, I think that's the refrigerant temp sensor. I'm not sure, everything's going to be in the description, but if you have some other sensor that's possibly not working, and the compressor stops for whatever reason, it'll also throw up a 419. So if you see a 419 along with a bunch of other codes, this should be the last of your concerns. If you fix everything else and you know that your compressor is working when it should, then don't worry about the 419 code. So now to erase the codes, we're going to go here on Del, and we're going to press these two at the same time. And now that will have reset the codes. So now we'll go to end. So now we're back in the intermittents, and you see now it says end. So that cleared the codes in the climate control unit. So if you have a whole bunch of codes, maybe because you let your car sit for a long time or whatever, and you're not sure what's actually broken, reset your codes and then take a reading. To get out of this menu, just, whatever, it doesn't matter which position it's on, just cycle the key on and off. If you want to quickly reset the temperature, you can just click these two at the same time. It's going to set it to 22 degrees. And now, everything's going to work as it should. So just a quick note to our friends with the dual zone climate control. If you press both auto buttons for the left and right side, and if you press both of them and hold them, it should switch on the front auxiliary fans. So if you want to test these fans out, that's the quickest way to do it. Unfortunately for us with the single zone climate controls, I didn't find any such combination of buttons which allows us to directly test the front aux fans. So, if you have an E-Class or a later model E-Class or an S-Class with dual zone climate control, that's an extra thing you can do to test these things. Okay, now warning for those users that like to skip through my videos. I know that you're out there because YouTube has analytics, so if you don't watch my full videos, I will know. Anyway, warning, this is for advanced users only. We're gonna access the climate control's version coding menu. So for that, I'm actually gonna need two hands, because what you need to do... So to access the version coding menu, you've got to press and hold rest. I'll try not to nudge the camera while I do this. Press and hold rest. God damn it, camera's getting in the way. I don't want to nudge it and you guys won't see what I'm doing. So yeah, press and hold rest and switch the ignition on. So press and hold. There you go. So you see now we're in the version coding menu. Press and hold rest while with the ignition off and switch the ignition on. So now rest is flashing, everything else is flashing, we're in the version coding menu. We need to press the recirculate button to select the version code. So there's a few of them. So blah blah blah, see very many version codes. Should stop at 32, okay. So yeah, the version coding, they're not all programmed, by the way, so this is why you got to be careful with this menu. So the version coding for my car happens to be 00, because that's serial interface K1. So in order to code the climate control, I select 00P, and then I have to click on the EC button, and that's going to program it. There you go. So now my climate control unit is version coded to my car. So like I said, be careful with this because, you could mess up your car. I mean, you could mess up your climate control unit if you're not careful here.